come all this way up the Saltley Cut and then simply turn up the Camphill Locks, because in some ways I've been missing the best bit. The old grooves in the edge of the bridge tell us that there used to be a lot of traffic coming through here and going around the corner, and that is where I want to go next. You've given me quite a lot of artistic license on this journey so far, so I'm going to hope that you bear with me from now on. If you don't particularly want to follow this detour, you can always stop the video here, but I'd encourage you to hang in there, because this way is really worth a look. I mentioned that Birmingham had a talent as a city for reinventing itself time and time again, and that's nowhere better exemplified than down here at Paisley Street. This is probably the best kept old industrial area of the Canal era Birmingham, and luckily it's an area that's not going to go away. Back in the late 1800s, this was an area which was crowded out with both factories and back-to-back houses. Real slums. This whole area of Digbeth is being used as an arts and entertainment centre. And behind me you can see the elements of the old canal infrastructure which they've retained and embraced. There's the Bond, which is a great cultural centre. Beyond it there's the old Fellows Morton Clayton warehouse, their offices, and the old banana warehouse which has its canopy still hanging over the stop lock. And I'm not sure if you refer to it as a cultural centre, but nonetheless Birmingham City have got their football ground just about a mile or so to the east of here. A football club with its roots very much entrenched in the industrial area. The atmosphere around here was a heady mix of brewing, vinegar making, gas production, tube extrusion, all accompanied to the ever clanking sound from the railway marshalling yards. And yet today it's almost an oasis of calm amid a busy and bustling city. If I brought a resident of the Paisley Street area of Digbeth here today, they would find the place almost unrecognisable, unless of course they look to their feet. The road layout is identical to how it used to be, and the area is home to a large collection of old industrial buildings which are being increasingly recognised for their part in the culture of the area. The maze of old industrial streets in this area can be a little confusing, and it's well worth a wander if ever you get a chance. Failing that, have a wander around on Street View, you'll get the idea. Every square foot of land along this section was pressed into service for industrial purposes. You've got the warehouses which I'm walking past right now, but on the other side there was the public wharf, the corporation wharf, the refuse wharf, the cattle market. I think you get the idea. This was really the beating and pulsating heart of Birmingham right through till the early 1900s. that really does bring me to the end of this episode of Canal Hunter. We've brought our load of coal up from Spaghetti Junction, along the Saltley Cut and out to Bordesley Junction. And just for a little bit of added interest, we have reversed our way back up the end of the Grand Union Canal to here where it meets end on to the Digbeth branch. You can see where one finished and the other started by the placing of the stop lock. It had two gates at each end. It meant water could never slide from one canal into the other. As you can imagine, this area was a myriad of basins and wharfs. All of those have long gone, apart from Typhoon Wharf just on the end of the Digbeth branch. Anyhow, that's it for this episode. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you soon when we take that load of coal up the Camp Hill Locks to its destination at the BSA works at Small Heath. Who said that good things come to those that wait? For those of you who might have noticed that this video continues on a bit longer, I couldn't resist making this into a circular trip. Strictly speaking, I finished my coal run for the day and the boats are moored up at Bordesley Junction. But there is a circular route possible here which is really to be recommended. Instead of going back along the Saltley Cut, I'm going to make my way back using the Birmingham Canal Navigation's canals, using the Digbeth branch and the Aston Locks. This area justifies whole episodes of its own, and I'm not even going to attempt to start to unpeel the history. But what I will do is I will simply run off footage as I travel along, letting you see what it looks like today. The one thing that you will gather is that it's not a secluded backwater that it used to be. Far from it. This is the east end of Birmingham, a massive regeneration area. An area home to the most of the universities in the city centre. Home to educational and residential blocks. I have to admit, whilst I am sad to lose the old, I do find this reinvention of the Digbeth branch rather lovely in its own way. I stand ready to be shot down in flames for that comment. Anyhow, without comment, let's just run along here with the camera rolling and you can get an idea of what this other half of the round trip holds in store for you. And a top tip from a local boater. If you need to stop on the Digbeth branch, this is your spot. It's actually covered by the security cameras of the local factories, and it's probably the safest spot down here that you could hope for. But a word of warning, there are some sensors on the buildings, so if you go anywhere near them, it triggers all sorts of alarms. And I know that these sensors are live because I moored here once and thought they were a redundant piece of electronics. I took the cover off. It took the security guards about 2 minutes to come and tell me off. Anyhow, that's it for this episode. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you soon when we take that load of coal up the Camp Hill Locks to its destination at the BSA works at Small Heath. So, for now, cheerio and happy hunting.